Hi, this is Mallory Aaron, and I am presenting on my welding engineer infographic. So the goal for this infographic was to just raise awareness of what a welding engineer is, kind of what they do, and different things about their schooling and then eventually their salary. So to begin the process, I gathered information and then started to sketch ideas. So this is my original idea, and it's kind of what I stuck with for the infographic. And I just went through and created different icons or sketched out different icons that could represent the different duties or elements of a welding engineer. So next I worked on creating the actual person, the generic welding engineer in Illustrator, and that was a struggle for me, as you can see, because I've never done people before. And so I kind of worked with this a little bit and played with it, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I kind of let it be, set it aside, moved on, and worked on my icons. And so this is a collection of the icons. And just ignore this guy because he doesn't look quite right because the stroke is a little bit thick on him. So this was another one of the issues I ran into was my icons originally were not feeling like they were connected, like they belonged together. And so to solve that problem, I ended up putting a 4-point stroke on all of my icons on the shapes, and I used rounder corners and endpoints. So that really helped there. And I ended up coming up with this as my final rough draft. And so as you can see, I took that same person, I scrapped his face, and I started over. And I'm really pleased with how it looks, and I feel like that portrays a welding engineer a lot better than my original person in Illustrator. So when I got my icons in here, they were a little bit too much. Like it was a little bit too busy. And so to solve that problem, I just dropped the opacity and kind of tucked them behind some of those descriptions of the different duties. And I think that that works well. So when I got feedback on this, it was that these yellow bars that have the section names on them were a little bit distracting, and it made it feel a little bit left heavy, so kind of leaning more towards this direction. Also that this transparent yellow box just didn't feel like it fit with the rest of the infographic. And then I wanted to kind of revamp this area down here, the salary, and make it a little bit more interesting. So this is the final infographic. And what I did in this one was I did create a more interesting way to display this salary data down in the salary section. I also kind of tried to make it this part right here more of a highlight point and make it a little bit more interesting and feel like it flows better with the document. Another thing was that these little areas, these little description areas, they weren't super legible. And so what I did was I made them a little bit darker, and the background I ended up dropping and making it lighter. So I did that for all of these sections behind there and back there. And I think that that really helps to draw the eye to those different duties. And honestly, if somebody wasn't really interested in welding engineering or figuring out what it was, that would be okay. And so this is more targeted towards somebody who is interested and just wants to know what exactly they do and just some details about them. So this is my final infographic, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. Thanks for watching.